Hello and welcome to class. It's Leadership 814, Transformational Leadership. It's week 3 assignments. I'm Dr. Greg Parsons, and if you're in the class, please raise your hand. Okay, well, looks like everybody's here, so let's get going. This week we're moving on with our topics to leadership behaviors. The first 2 weeks we were covering the trait-based leadership theories, and now we're going to be moving on. There's kind of a transition point in the 1940s where people stopped worrying about what leaders looked like or how smart they were or what sort of personality characteristics they had, and started talking about, so maybe leadership is more about how people behave. So let's see what Dilbert has to say. Wally says to the boss, "Did you get the link that I sent you about the 10 things that all leaders should do? I also sent you an article about 9 habits of successful people. In addition, I sent you an article about time management and the tricks used by successful people. According to my research, there are 17,429 tricks or hints you need to master to be a good leader, and that might seem like a lot. However, if you master 10 per year, you'll be 1.2% competent by the time you retire." At this point, the boss has heard enough and says, "Why are we having this conversation?" At which point Wally says, "I guess I need to add listening skills to the list." Well, with that said, let's take a look at the week 3 assignments. As I said, the topic for the week are the early behavioral-based leadership models, which kind of grew out of some studies that were done both at Ohio State and Michigan, and you'll see some of the researchers, important researchers at that time. Now, one of the things you'll notice when you deal with leadership and the research is not all of it is coming out of business schools and business journals. A lot of it comes out of the psychology field, and a lot of the people involved in social psychology, such as Warren Bennis and Roger Stogdill and others, were really not in business schools. They were in the field of psychology. But anyway, we have a set of assigned readings that you need to read. Okay. And also in the Start Here section of the class, you should be aware that we have some videos on literature reviews, because that's really what we're doing here. We're studying the topics, but we're really looking at the literature and learning how to read it, interpret it, synthesize it, and write about it. Okay, so I'd like you to take a look at the literature review. The first one was a video I did, and the second one is one that was taken off YouTube from Texas A&M University. Okay, these links won't work obviously in YouTube, so you'll have to cut and paste them from the class itself or go to the link in Start Here. Now, this may seem like a lot, but this is something you really got to get familiar with and comfortable with as we move forward towards where you're starting to think about what sort of topics you would use for your own research. Now, the special little lecture today is going to be dealing with the research that you do in the library. And although generally most of the articles that you'll be using for this class, at least the assigned readings, are going to be coming out of the Kaiser Library, I generally tell people that it's a good idea to start with Google Scholar when they're looking for something new. And if you haven't used it, the link is right there, scholar.google.com. And when you type that in, you'll get to a screen that looks like this. Now, what I've done is I've typed in for my search item behavioral leadership theories. Okay, and as you see, it's checked at the bottom here. This is going to pull up articles, but not case law. Okay, so then when you click on that, you're going to get a list of articles. These will be chosen from the Google database of articles related to this particular topic, and it's going to be different. You're going to see different things here than if you did the same search in the Kaiser Library on a ProQuest database or the EBSCOhost database. The advantage is Google is quite a bit wider in its scope, so you'll find things here that you won't find in the Kaiser Library, and it'll give you a much better idea of how much is actually available. So here we got a return of over 1,160,000 results related to behavioral leadership theories, and they're going to be provided to you in a particular order. So one thing you can do is you can search on, since a particular time. So you can look for early research, you can look for more recent research, or you can look for it all. So generally, depending on what you're looking at, what you're searching for, you may want to limit the search by different time periods. You can also have it sorted by relevance. In this particular case, it's sorted by dates, and that gives you again a good starting point to start looking at what's there. Now, the disadvantage is a lot of cases you can't get the actual article without having to pay some money. So you're probably not going to use Google Scholar to actually find the article, but one thing it does allow you to do is if you click on the cite link for any one of the articles, it brings you into a variety of different formats that you can use for your citation. So you can simply copy the APA style format from here and paste it into the reference list of your paper, and now you have a correctly formatted APA citation, which makes things much faster than trying to type these things out. Just a couple little hints to kind of speed up the process. But as I said, when you're actually looking for the article, many times you can't get it directly through Google Scholar. So you're going to end up going back to the KU library, and what you could do is have two browsers open, one in Google Scholar and one in the library, so you can find the article that you're looking for, get the title of it, and then come back over to the library and search into the databases to see if you can find it there. Okay, so here we have the EBSCOhost database, and I use this one quite a bit because it has a lot of the types of journal articles that I want. It includes things from psychology as well as business and leadership. Okay, so I use that one quite a bit. And in fact, all the articles from this particular class, all the required articles, are drawn from the EBSCOhost database. So you don't have to go searching around to try to find it. You just go directly to that database. So you come here, and what I generally tell people to do is, because a lot of the leadership journal articles are taken from psychology journals rather than business, you probably want to check the select all so that all the databases are included when you search here. So it's not, you're not just looking at business source complete, you're looking at all of them. So you want to check that. And then when we go to the actual search, because you're searching for a specific article, you can simply copy and paste the title of the article into the main search field. Okay, so here we're looking for the contributions of the Ohio State studies to the field of leadership, and we click on search, and it brings up the first screen of the article. Not the article itself, but the thing that's maintained in the database, which is the author, the source, the journal that it came from, some related search terms, and then the abstract. Okay. And as you'll see here also up in the upper left-hand corner, this particular article is available in the library in its full PDF form. So if you click on PDF full text, that'll download the text, and then you can save it to your computer. Okay. Now this particular article is taken from the Journal of Management. So another thing you might be interested in is sort of saying, well, okay, if this article is there and this is related to the subject that I'm interested in, maybe I should look at the journal itself. So if you click on that link, it brings you to another screen which shows you information about this particular journal. And over on the, you'll see that it's peer-reviewed, so that's important because we look at peer-reviewed things. But also over on the right-hand side, it shows you the issues that are available within the library. So here, this particular article, the Journal of Management, this particular journal has been carried at the library and is available for a long time. So you have the complete journal available to you, the whole thing. So if we click on that, looking at the January of 2015 issue, there's 14 articles, and each one of them is a full text link, meaning that you can get the entire article itself. And so you can kind of scroll through these, and if the article you're interested in was found in this particular issue, you can look and you can see the other types of articles that are being published in this particular issue in this particular journal. And I think gaining just a general appreciation of how journals work, which journals focus on which particular types of topics, the type of researchers and where they're doing the research, what universities they're at, are all important things to start to get a handle on as you move forward with your doctorate. Also, you can search by the keywords to try to find related articles that may not come up directly with your first search. So, for example, you might want to look at the related terms of management, study and teaching, or leadership, and also find similar results using a different searching technique. So there's all kinds of ways of coming up with related articles. And again, rather than planning to read each of the article word for word, look at the abstract. By looking at the abstract, you can generally tell if it's something you think has information that you need to look at more closely, and then you download it and read the whole thing. So if we go on similar search results, we find more things about the Ohio State studies, how the studies were conducted, the psychometric measures that were being used, subsequent evaluation of those studies in terms of their effectiveness and whether they are accurate or not. So there's a lot of stuff related to this particular topic, but to almost any topic you could possibly think of. So that's the way you gain more information. And as I've said before, the supplied readings, the required readings for the particular class, are just the key that opens the door to all this world of knowledge out there in the refereed journals. And so what I expect as the class goes on, we'll see more, not just reviewing the articles for the week, but more things brought in as you look at related articles and related topics, as you try to expand and drill down on these specific leadership models that we're going to be dealing with in this class. So the assignment for this week is we're moving out of the trait-based theories and we're moving into the behavioral models. So now we're going to try to look at how the behavioral models changed the nature of leadership research and how they added their own unique twist to the evolution of what we currently think leadership is about and the way that it's been developed over the past 50, 60 years. Okay, so it'll be similar to what we've done before. So the keys to success for week number 3. Well, you should be starting to get a good handle on how the class runs, because the future is going to look very much like the past in this case. We'll just be moving on to different theories and different approaches to leadership research. So the assigned readings are kind of just the beginning. They're the key that opens the door to this vast amount of knowledge out there. And one of the things you need to learn as a doctoral student is how to use that key to find what you're going to need to track down a particular topic or a particular approach that you want to use. So using the abstracts is the starting point to figure out if an article is something in it that you want. That's the best approach. And then you only end up reading the things that actually have a high percentage or high probability of having value for you. But overall, it's going to require a lot of reading. By the time you're finished with your dissertation, you'll have read thousands of articles, and it's also important to begin to think of a way of cataloging those articles so that you can reuse them. Before you write a post, and certainly before you write a paper, choose the approach that you plan to take. Those initial posts should be introductions of your way of thinking about the topic for the week, and it should allow other people to build onto that easily, so that if you're running a class as a discussion like I am, I try to find a way to allow everybody to contribute their own unique viewpoint and yet leave it open so other people can also add their own viewpoint. So that's why I don't ask very specific questions in the discussion post. Answer this question, because then I'll just have everybody answering it the same way. Okay? So before you write, think about the approach you want to take. The best posts generally gather a lot of responses because people find the post interesting, but also they find it easy to respond to. The literature is going to support the approach you want to take, so we're not looking for opinions, at least not your opinion. We're looking for the validated research that's applied in the peer-reviewed journal process, and that's why we talk about, what's the difference between peer review and non-peer-reviewed literature. It's the fact that it's within the academic circles, that's established, has some level of validity. And then finally, look ahead to the future assignments. Okay. Week 4 will have another paper. It'll be based upon the behavioral theories. So the work that you're doing for your discussions, the research that you're doing there, should be used and be able to be used when you come to writing your paper. So that's about it. So until next time, goodbye, good luck, and I'll see you in class.